Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Anime Declassified. Today we are going to talk about one of our absolute favorites of the season, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is a popular manga, from what I understand, and this one kind of came out of nowhere, at least for me. I just heard about it on Verve and Crunchyroll, and the art looked interesting. The concept seems kind of interesting, and then the style kind of blew me away. And then I watched the first episode. I was really interested because, I couldn't quite figure out a lot. There's a lot of word of mouth, seeing stuff on Twitter, seeing stuff on Facebook, all over, seeing ads on Verve and stuff. I'm like, what is going on with Dr. Stone? And we check it out, and man, what do we have here but a wild ride, a really interesting, very clever, cool, science-based kind of adventure, educational sort of. Well, what do we have here?
A mixed bag.
Let's talk about this. We've got a mixed bag, a real interesting one. And let me just say, sorry, I overran the bit. This is Connor Healy, Hitmage, and I'm joined by fellows. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Let's see. Hi, I am Anthony Davis, and I am 120% sure that this is going to be a pretty good anime.
That's a pretty good number.
I'm Miguel, and I'm about to fine you 10 billion for that.
Yeah.
I'm Rizwan, the big boss, and I'm 100 billion% certain this is the best anime I've seen in quite some time.
You need to watch more stuff, but I would say it is my anime of the summer for sure.
It is
Big
like
numbers.
So I'm just gonna throw it out there in like a quick synopsis for y'all on why I said that. So I come from a science background. I tinker in the lab all day. I love learning things about science and doing engineering and all that. So seeing an anime like this, where it's not just, mindless fighting like in Dragon Ball Super or JoJo's with all the crazy stands and all that stuff. This one's a bit more based in reality in a not Vinland Saga way, where Vinland Saga is really about history and the Vikings.
And there's
this is more about science and making science fun, which I'm all about because of my daytime job.
Which I think is fascinating that you're able to, you've got your day job working in science and stuff, and you're able to have something that's kind of like about your job. It's.
I mean, I don't even do
I bet people who watch Honda-san and I watch a Gretsuko, and I've been like, oh god, I feel that, but
yeah,
and it's cool because we have a weird, fantastical idea, but these bits of science, they're a little exaggerated, but they're still, based on
absolutely.
actual.
Yeah,
I mean, there's formulas and stuff.
I mean, look, he got E equals MC squared correct.
Yep.
I mean, and that's a very simple formula, mind you, but just acknowledging science, even in an abstract way like they are in this anime, really was a plus for me. And mind you, I'm not into chemistry or biology and all that stuff like they talk about in here. I'm more based on STEM and not STEM, but engineering and computer science stuff. But it's still really cool to see an anime that's trying to get kids into the STEM fields more by telling them all about the stuff that you can do with all these different disciplines that, for the most part, go kind of unloved, if I were to be completely honest, because
I mean, let's face it, not a lot of people like math.
Correct. Yeah. And not a lot of people like science. I mean,
math sucks.
Math does suck. But I really do like science, though.
Yeah. I mean, even though I am in engineering, I will say I hate math. I love what math can do, but I hate how to do it.
For sure.
So it's really cool to see this, to me, for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the hook of the show was the protagonist himself. Because Because so often, whenever they're like, "Oh, this is a new protagonist," or "This is the shonen protagonist," they fall under a certain mold. Like
They're
either really
cool.
dumb, but they are really strong and they can fight. Senku, on the
Goku.
other hand, super smart, knows what his limits are. And we'll get into that as we get further into these episodes. But like right off the bat from the first episode, like he said to his to the big boy, he's like, "Hey, I need you. Like I can do
Yeah.
all the science stuff,
You
but
just now the muscle. I need a muscle.
I need a horsepower. I need an ox.
I need the
So,
muscle. To
what
back
I
me
need
up.
the bronze to my brain.
Exactly. And he knows
Yeah.
that, and he knows like this is what I have to do to survive. And unlike a lot of other shonen shows where the protagonist has a perceived weakness, but there'll be like some power of friendship or strong will or perseverance that they just muscle their way through it.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
they rarely ever intelligence their way out of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
Correct.
it is such a breath of fresh air with the protagonist where I'm like, I
mean,
like
could
this
you
guy.
imagine Goku or Luffy or any of these shonen heroes we've grown up with
If they paid attention in class and actually gave a crap about studying,
that implies that Goku went to school, first of all.
Yeah.
Literally
I
learned.
don't know what
he learned
Luffy
his-
did because I don't watch One Piece, but
He never didn't.
Probably not.
okay.
Anyway, so we should
Yusuke
talk
tried.
about the point that we get to. So what is happening in this world? So it all starts out modern day Japan. Everything's normal. And then this weird thing happens.
A flash of green light just spreads all over the world, and you just see everybody just turn to stone. Like, oh, and here's a joke from Rick and Morty. I remember this.
Oh boy.
Oh, if you have any scientists that are like still in space, they're all dead.
That hurt.
And then the Fire Nation attacked when they all
Oof.
down.
That really hurt. Given I work in aerospace.
Because
Anyway.
they didn't talk about it, but like I just imagine like people out and like maybe like in a satellite or like what are those
Oh well, dude,
space shuttles.
people in airplanes all bit the dust. Oh man, there was like if you were anywhere above ground
or in a moving vehicle, yeah, you'd be screwed.
So a large percentage of humanity is screwed, basically.
a good chunk of them.
Yeah.
And this is all before they
because-
get turned to stone.
Correct.
But before everyone gets turned to stone, we get introduced to the basic or the central protagonist, at least for the first couple of episodes. We see Senku making a bet with his boy that, he's not going to confess to Yuzuriha, the one of the main girls of the show. And he's like, here's a love formula. Guy just dumps it, which it just turned out to be flammable alcohol. And, they get turned to stone. And the guy managed to stay alive because he's like, no, I have to stay conscious or else I can't confess my love for this girl. And just like as it keeps going on, he's like, nope, still holding on. And I thought that introduction was just really well done.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And see, the other part of this anime that really makes me love it a lot is not only do we have like all this great love for like the STEM fields and all that, but also of the three main protagonists, even the antagonists that I've seen so far, I have not disliked any of them in a negative way to say like, oh, this character is just not well written or not impactful. I mean, yeah, I don't like the antagonist that we'll get to later on because he's a dick.
But
I feel something about him that makes me want to say like, okay, he's doing his job. I like him for that.
Mhm.
yeah, he's being an antagonist. He's being like a threat. That's what
And
I
he's not being
enjoy.
like a typical threat either. He's being clever with it. They're making it clever.
And he's just like, for one thing I can respect about this guy, well, when we get to him, is the fact that he is like 2 steps ahead of Senku at times. Like sometimes he's like, "Oh well, I know what you're planning, and I'm gonna try to stop you." Other times he's like, "Oh, this is the situation. Okay, so he probably did such and such," and it's like, wow, he didn't even like take 2 minutes to figure that out, and it would have took maybe one of us, maybe like who knows how long it'd take for us to figure out what actually happened. Is something if we were in the same situation he was in.
Yeah.
He was trying to find somebody like, oh, they're trying to do this and this and this. We'd be like, well, where'd they go? You know?
I feel that.
Like he's good at planning. I like that. He's still a dick. But
so
but anyway,
what happens is,
yeah, go ahead, Connor.
Senku, he gets out, and so does Taiju, the strong guy.
Big boy.
Taiju knows, or Senku knows he needs Taiju because Taiju is strong. Senku is not. And he knows to survive, he has all of these ideas of science.
Yeah.
And he knows he can like make primitive machinery and stuff to solve his tasks. And figure out what's going on and use science to figure out what's going on. But here's the thing. How far in the future is it?
After 3,700 years, I am free. Yes. Time to conquer Earth.
Right.
Quite literally in all their cases, honestly.
Yes.
I believed they had said it was about like 5,200 years in the future.
Mm-mm. It's 3,700.
It was about 3,700. Okay.
No, it really. That's why
that was the time it was actually
5,700.
Yeah, 5,700 was the actual time it was in, but the amount of time was around 300 some years, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Because remember, we're in the year 2019 when this all happened. So
right. Mm-hmm.
Add 30,000 to a new.
I had it mixed up. I was trying to say that it was that. I just ended up saying the wrong things.
Hey, look, we're doing math.
Remember, folks, we here do not advocate for the learning of math.
Well, we do advocate for it.
Nope.
We just all suck at it.
Also true.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, Senku.
Go ahead.
I was gonna give like the next plot point of what was gonna happen, but if you have something else, you can go for it.
No, go for it.
Okay. So Senku wakes up Taiju and he's like, "Hey, you muscle, me brain. We save world little by little." And they go through and they kind of research for like a year and a half, their time, trying to find a solution to depetrify all the people who've been petrified. And Senku on the side is also trying to figure out why did this originally happen. And they spend a lot of time and effort trying to figure it out. And at some point they like figure out, okay, so we have the solution, it works. We tried on a bird, the bird's not petrified. Oh yeah, by the way, all humans and birds are petrified, but other animals are not. BT dubs.
Yeah,
something I didn't catch on to in the beginning because I don't know.
I think it was swallows that were specifically the ones that were petrified.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But other animals like lions and tigers, and they have never seen a human in these 3,700 years. I mean, yeah, they've seen statues, but they haven't seen an actual walking, living human being. So for them, it's kind of weird, and they don't understand how to deal with it, as we see in some of these episodes.
Right.
But whenever they do find a cure that works on the sparrow, unfortunately, they want to go revive Yuzuria, but instead they're like, well, crap, we're being chased by a tiger or a lion or something, so we got to get somebody stronger than the lion. So they revive Tsukasa, I think is his name.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. And
this is them thinking on the spot, and they're like, okay, this is the toughest kid in high school, and they quickly put the solution. Remember, it was a mixture of nitric acid and alcohol, and this is after they tried so many things. I'll be right back. You guys go on, though.
Yeah, I heard that beeper. Something's on fire. Anyway, yeah, so they're like, hey, we're gonna find the strongest high schooler. Which, okay, to them, that's a huge deal because that's all they really know. Minus maybe Senku, who knows more, but in that split second, they're basically near to high school anyway. So the best chance to find that one guy. So they find him, revive him. He looks at him like, WTF. Then he's like, all right, I'll deal with the line, then we'll talk later. And then they talk, and he joins the merry band, or so we think. Spoilers, Tsukasa turns into a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does not like adults.
No.
He thinks they're corrupt. He thinks they lead only to trouble.
And I mean,
So
he is
plan-
like, yeah.
Make sure that certain adults or certain people that he doesn't like don't make it back. Break a couple of these stone statues.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that lost kiss next door, remember? Who just could not stop.
The who?
Kiss next door.
Oh, yeah.
That's a trip back in time if ever I heard one day.
Right.
Yeah, really. But yeah, so obviously Taizu's kind of depressed because he really wanted to revive his sweetheart and Professor the feelings to her. So he has to wait until they can make more formula. But Senku has realized during interaction with Tsukasa that maybe it's not the best idea in the world to necessarily tell everything about their solution to Tsukasa, because he doesn't seem like he's the most trustworthy of people in the world. So he keeps a lot of it secret, and he tells Taizu, look, we gotta go revive your girlfriend now, and then you'll have to go run away together because, well, you're gonna be screwed otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So they go do that, revive her while he's not around, and she comes to life, and yeah, stuff begins to happen more intensely. I was hoping Connor would pick up, but I guess not.
Oh, sorry. I was having a drink of water to take care of my throat.
Water's great.
So yeah, yes, or bubble tea. That's what it was, bubble tea. So
Bubble tea. Interesting.
Yeah, they revive her. They unite, and then quickly it becomes apparent. Tsukasa is dangerous. He is an antagonist.
Oh yeah.
He originally wants Senku to help him because he realizes how strong Senku was, and he even says, "I think we could have been friends had we met." However, Senku is like, I want to help save all of humanity. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have the power of science. That's what I want to do. That's what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely.
And I don't remember if we're at the part where we have a little sequence where it shows Senku and like his past with science. I don't know if we're at that point yet.
It'd be around this point.
Yeah, you're fine.
As that happens before they go off to the hot springs.
Yeah.
But we get a little insight on Senku, how he wants to do science stuff.
Yeah.
And his father trades in his car so he can buy Senku all these tools, all these gadgets, all these kits. And I thought that was a really heartwarming moment right there. Like a father supporting his son, in something that's not sports. Yeah. And, part of Tsukasa's deal before he left, because it was leading up to this, they showed that, and then Tsukasa was, Senku, I'll let you live, but you have to give up science.
I can't do that. He's like, I can't do that.
And yeah, no. Tsukasa, like, at that point, he's like, I think had we met earlier, and they even show a little flashback of, like, what might have been, some Rocky-style training regiments, Rocky 4, completed with vacuum cleaner.
That was Anthony's computer being Anthony's computer.
Sorry.
So I want to get you guys' thoughts on Tsukasa a little bit more. Like, how do you think of him as an antagonist?
So, part of it is, and I kind of mentioned this while you were gone, I guess, Miguel, but to recap for your benefit as well, when they were looking for a solution to the lion in the jungle in episode 2 or 3, I don't remember when it happened, Senku's first instinct is, okay, we got to find somebody to help us deal with this. Who was the strongest high schooler we had? And the reason he asked that question is because at that point in time, they were near the ruins of the high school. So it made sense to look for somebody who was bigger over there. So they picked him because he was known as the strongest primate high schooler. And he was known to be a dick. Like, there's no two ways about that. Like, they knew he was going to be difficult to handle, but they didn't know in what way exactly. They just knew his reputation only. But I think Senku didn't anticipate that Tsukasa would be intellectual in a way, or ambitious enough to want to make his own society with only young people and none of the older ones.
But he knew he was going to be a threat.
Correct.
And they revived him.
They knew he was a threat. They just didn't know what flavor threat.
Yeah.
I think Senku thought he could control the threat, similar to the way that he was able to keep Taizu under his control.
Well, Taiju's not really under his control.
Well, okay,
they're really good friends.
They're really good friends.
So, yes, I agree with you on that, but that's not obvious. Well, it's a little bit obvious in the first couple episodes, but it's not abundantly clear until much later when they start doing more flashbacks. Like, whenever I first started watching, my first reaction was, okay, he revived the Big O for Musclehead to help him out, and they had like a shared history of being in class together. I assumed that meant they shared the same class environment. Maybe Senku was like a class president, this kid was in the back of the class hanging out, and he knew Taizu as like a reputation of like, okay, this is the Big O, I can use him to help me.
Dude, I didn't even get that from that. Like, from the first episode, they established how good of friends they are. From the love potion thing, like, he's like, wait, you were going to give him that? And Senku's like, no, I know this guy well enough that he doesn't need it. He just needs, the confidence push to do it.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
Like, you just think go about it logically.
The friendship is, like, established super early.
Senku just has this, like, very blunt, like, kind of
I think the bluntness is
way of saying stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
but, like,
the way he
from those episodes made it seem like, oh, he's under my control.
Maybe control's not the right word, but somebody he knew he could like work with.
He could depend
in
on.
A controlled environment. Yeah.
But Tsukasa was the unknown element for sure.
Correct. Yeah.
And he's very ambitious. He's very calculating. He knows what he wants, and he doesn't. I don't remember if he says it quite yet, but I swear he says something like, "He's not just going to like, oh, I'm going to make a new world. Like, no, I'm going to make a new world, and I'm going to
run it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think he specifically said he wants to run it. He wants to decide who comes out of it because he doesn't want the same adults who made the previous world miserable for others to come back and do the same thing.
Well, and here, one of the real poignant things is when he breaks a statue in front of Senku.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that hurt me.
And Senku just kind of looks at him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, so you're a murderer."
Yeah.
And Tsukasa, doesn't he like imply, oh yeah, no, this isn't the first statue I've broken, and it's not going to be the last.
Yeah.
And then he is the obstacle between Senku and Yuzuriha getting out safely.
Yeah.
Now, this whole time, they've been talking about making weapons of science.
Let's talk about some science.
Yes. Weapons of science?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So, one of the first things they had to figure out is how to create this solution that'll defrost or depetrify or basically fix the problem they're in right now. And the idea that Senku comes up with is, okay, well, why did Taizu wake up? Why did I wake up? And he notices that Taizu is literally under bat piss. And he has to think about that and figure out, well, what about the bat urine is it that's making him come back to life? Why did he depetrify? And he deduces through science, well, there's a lot of nitol in this miracle water that's coming from the bat. So perhaps if we create a more concentrated version of this, we can revive whoever we want. So they literally spend a year working on the solution. And they come up with revival fuels.
Mm-hmm. They tried a bunch of different mixtures.
Yeah, I remember like one had like grapes in it, I want to say.
That was the alcohol they needed. They were fermenting the grapes to make wine.
Correct.
And then once they did that, they had to figure out like what the amount of each was needed. And so they just kept testing it out on a bunch of the swallows that were petrified nearby.
Yeah.
Science.
Science. The more you know. So, other things. Later on, we see Senku showing off his hunter skills with not being a hunter himself, but providing the tools for others to do hunting for them with spears and other things like that. They also
like survival stuff.
Yeah. He also instructs Taizu to harvest the sea cells from nearby to create, I think, like a calcium carbonate, which would help them.
They needed it. Yeah, because they said there's different things to create with them.
Yeah. Because calcium carbonate is one of the base materials to making things. So he wanted to say, look, we got to get this thing to build other things, and hell, you need salt, right? Like that's all it is salt.
Salt is a building block of life.
Yeah. So, around this point in the invention scheme, Tsukasa reveals that he intends to murder all the petrified humans. So the next thing to fix life is let's make gunpowder.
Well, it's not to fix life, but to counter Tsukasa.
Yeah.
Because, again, they admit, this guy is way tougher than us. We need the means to take him out. To take him out, we need weapons of science. What's a better weapon of science than gunpowder?
Yeah. Well, what's a achievable thing they can make and with the resources they have available to them or could discover easily? And gunpowder is the first obvious choice.
Right. Because they know they need something fast, because Tsukasa is, pretty speedy for a high schooler.
Dude, okay, I have to ask. And I'm going to ask this question later on when we talk about Vinland Saga again. But, dear God, did somebody just suit this kid up with steroids or something all through high school?
Well,
in
he
middle
was-
school and elementary school.
Well, they did say that he was a mixed martial artist.
And didn't he do weight training a lot too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there's mixed martial arts, and then there's Tsukasa. All right, like you can't tell me that all mixed martial artists can do what he's doing just by training in the arts.
Maybe
is a
it's
work
a little
of
bit to do
fiction.
with who his well, you know who his voice actor is.
Hmm.
It's Bucciarati.
Really?
It's Bucciarati
Yeah.
from JoJo's. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, well, look at that.
He just has a stand.
Mr. Zipperman himself.
I
I just heard him like, oh wait, oh my god, what's that?
that? But back to the topic on hand, like this guy's a freak, like an athletic freak. You know, he can kill a lion with a kick.
Punch.
So,
It was a punch, actually.
thing is, he can kill it without any weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also the English voice actor is also Whis, by the way, from Dragon Ball Battle of Gods.
You can just say from Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, you're right, but that's where I remember him from. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
did you? Oh, guess who's voicing Senku? Aaron Dismuke from he played Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
He played Alphonse. He played somebody else that was pretty significant, I feel like. I can't remember his name there, or like what it was from. It'll come to me though. I'll think and scroll. Anyway. Back to where we were.
So yeah, he's got this gunpowder thing. So Tsukasa makes his move.
Mm-hmm.
Hits Senku in the back of the head. Thinking that he broke his neck and killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Senku drops to the ground. And then boom goes the dynamite, or in this case, the black powder.
And before that, they're creating a smoke signal with the gunpowder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you saw other ones light up.
Yeah, they got responded to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Meaning there's more people out there than what we've already seen.
Correct.
Which actually brings me to another good point. When I was watching these first 5 episodes, I was surprised at how long we had gone without meeting the rest of the characters in the opening opener.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who is this mysterious girl in the blue outfit? Where does C come from? Who is C? What high school thing did C do? But then I see this scene, and I'm like, maybe she's not from high school.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe people survive this calamity. Find out
Maybe
next time
people
on Dr. Stone.
Petrified early. Who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who's this other guy who's doing science things with Senku in the opening?
Yeah.
When does he show up?
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, there's just all these people that came out of nowhere, and there's in the opening. We have no inkling where they fit in or anything, but we just see smoke in the distance, and now we start to wonder:
Mm-hmm.
are these the people,
Oh yeah.
or is it Tsukasa being his? No, it's not Tsukasa because
It's not Tsukasa.
specifically he's somewhere else.
Well, he sees the explosion go off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he starts racing towards it. Because remember, Tsukasa
What is-
wanted Senku to join him, but he knew Senku was going to say no, and he knows if there's one person that can stop him, it's the guy who's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just running towards it because Tsukasa does not know how to do anything scientific.
Yeah.
He can whoop your ass, but you ask him to solve a math problem, he'll probably fail like us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Right.
And so after that, that's when we have our confrontation on the mountain, right?
Correct.
Or are we there yet?
Yeah.
This would be the confrontation on the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the confrontation on the mountain. Tsukasa says, "All right, jig's up, Senku. Bring it. We're gonna fight. I'm gonna stop you."
Well, you got to remember, he captures Yuzuriha
Yeah, he
before he
captures
confronts
Yuzuriha.
before he
Mhm.
confronts Senku. Because, again, Tsukasa not smart.
Mhm.
Tsukasa does not have the rest of 5 everyone to set up his ideal world.
Yep.
And so he's holding her hostage. And it's like, okay. I let her go. You give me the recipe. You don't do anything sciencey again.
Mhm.
You're banned from doing science forever and ever, unfortunately.
And that was a pretty intense stare off.
Oh yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. Do you want to go into the thing?
What thing?
The next scene with that.
With the kick in the
With
head,
Senku, yeah.
or the flashback to the friends?
Let's talk about the friends first, actually. We
Yeah.
can,
Because this is the episode where we see the flashback of
Mhm.
his dad selling the card for
Yeah.
Senku to get all his science.
It
things.
is?
This is
Yeah.
episode 4.
Oh. Okay.
Because
I
he's
forgot
thinking
about that.
about his relationship
Yeah.
with Sans.
No, you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
I'll get in on this. What did you think about that flashback where he's doing all the experiments in the park? I thought that was adorable.
Super
Dude.
touching. I really loved it.
I was like,
There.
I had proud tears in my eyes watching that because I was like, this kid,
Same.
he going places, you know? So I liked it a lot. It was really adorable.
And I'm glad to see like the dad's hard work and sacrifices really paying off.
Yeah, I mean, his dad's like, no, we're going to make you a better life. And he's like, cool, let's do it.
Mhm. I really like that. I feel like sometimes you don't see enough of that in anime.
Well,
You do in like, well, okay, in some of them. So like, I think parents are really, really, really well portrayed in like My Hero Academia, but that's another.
Right.
well, that's My Hero Academia, but like, talk about other animes where for most of the time you don't even see an adult and you're wondering how are these kids just doing these things.
Exactly.
I'm looking at you, Digimon parents.
And like, it makes sense now in this era where literally some of the kids are the only people that are awake at this point.
Correct. Yeah, that makes sense.
But you know, it shows that no, there was an adult to make this kid who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, his dad was there for him, and I really like that they put that in there, and that you show that he had the care to turn his son into what he wanted to be. And yeah, Senku in the park as a kid, super cute.
Very much so.
And
Right.
Seeing Taiju in the background of the early experiments, like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And then eventually just like getting interested and saying, I'll help you out. And
I don't understand this crap, but I'll definitely be your brunt man.
Yeah, so it builds up to where when they're both doing it and then eventually Yuzuriha joins in, it's playing up to Tsukasa saying the biggest difference between us is you have people you care about that'll make you do the illogical choice instead of the science choice you would normally do. That's your weakness, as he's holding Yuzuriha hostage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually to build up like, yes, these three are actually friends. They're not like, oh, we consider you friends, and the one guy's just aloof. No, like, it's showing you like, yeah, this friendship they have is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
Senku even says it early on. he's like, I know Taiju's going to be conscious because he is too devoted to confessing to Yuzuriha. I know he's that devoted that he wouldn't give up.
Mhm.
That of anybody out there who'd still be alive, even if it was just the two of them, it would be Taiju.
Mhm.
I gotta say, they're like the most wholesome characters out there.
They
right
really
now.
are.
They are.
I like it.
I mean, all three of them are just so wholesome.
Hmm.
Thank you for making
Also,
us-
Yuzuriha's like invincible headband.
dude. I don't understand.
Getting it, like everyone's clothes rip off or rotted away or whatever.
Rotted away because
Yeah.
3,700 years.
Yeah.
So their clothes
Oh.
rotted away, but her headband is still there.
Look, it's not exact science.
Well, and it's probably
Um,
made out of some material that doesn't. It's probably made out of one of those beastly plastics that like never goes away even after like the Earth is gone. There's still
think
gonna
it's
be like
plastic? I don't
plastic
think so.
trash in space. I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
something.
There's something going on there. There most
Highfalutin,
definitely.
rootin' tootin' science crap. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything starts coming to a head. And Yuzuriha is in danger. And Tsukasa makes his move.
Mhm.
And Senku makes his choice. And then
You
wallop.
He gives Tsukasa the formula, and this also shows that Tsukasa has just a little bit of honor, because as soon as he gets the formula, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna kill her anyway, he lets her
Mhm.
go. Because
Yeah.
he's like, she's not who I came here for. It's you. And he's like, now that you gave me the formula, no reason to keep you alive. And he goes for the kick.
Yep.
And cut to black. That was the end of the episode. Taiji
Yep.
screaming Senku's name. And that was a heck of an episode.
Oh,
Dude.
I got
And-
goosebumps.
And then the next episode was, palate cleanser, essentially.
Yeah.
It just
Well-
shows Senku's early adventures in the Stone World.
Yeah. But we'll cover that next time, I think,
Yep.
right?
I thought we were doing the first 5 episodes. I mean, honestly, the 5th episode, I don't want to
Isn't-
call it filler, but it's nothing really progresses except Senku kept himself alive. Like,
it is probably, I would guess, rendering something that is done a certain way in. There's probably some chapters in the manga.
well, from what my friend told me, like,
Mhm.
they did the first 20 chapters in one episode. Like, they
wow.
they sped up a bunch of the early stuff to get to introducing the more interesting characters, which is probably a good idea. Like,
Yeah.
if most of the stuff is just like early exploration and survival,
Mhm.
some people may like it, but I honestly think it was good just speeding up to reviving Tsukasa.
Mhm. That
Like,
makes sense.
Just speeding up through that is probably a good idea. And this one, there's some funny moments, like the monkeys going, "Who's that bald monkey?" and them laughing at Senku's early failures. Like, that stuff was funny.
Right.
But, it showed Senku knows what his limitations are. He tried to chase a deer with a spear. He's like, okay, this isn't working out. Built a trap, kills Bambi's mother again. She cannot catch a break in anime or regular world.
Never.
And he's like, okay, this is what I need to do. And then went back to his earlier point. I'm sure you guys probably covered this while I was gone, where he's like, I cannot come out of this shell until probably spring. I come out in winter, I'm done. So, Senku's smart. He knows what his limits are, but he builds upon them and builds things to get around them. Science, intelligence. And
Harnessing how things around the world are.
And I'm trying to remember, like, what it was exactly that he did. Like I think he dislocated his neck. so the kick wouldn't have as much of an impact?
What happened was there was still a petrification. And when this, so they have cracks in their face, and when the solution hits them, it repairs the crack and makes it so it doesn't just bleed out. It heals, but there's still a crack. Because it would be like if you had a crack in your face because of the petrification or whatever. If it was deep, well, now it just keeps it normal. So he had a bunch of petrification in his neck, and so it was the petrification that took the hit and broke. And so when they put the fluid on him, it went in and it repaired all of the breaks in the neck that the stone had and just made it normal again. Because he still had a considerable amount on him.
Smart.
Yeah, well, he was like
checkers.
cracking his neck.
Sakasa's over here playing checkers. Senku's playing freaking 7D chess over here.
Yep. Stone World chess.
Hey, it works. I mean, I'd play 7D chess if I could.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was the first 5 episodes of Dr. Stone. I think we're only, 8 episodes in now?
I think so, huh?
That's what we've got for Crunchyroll. And
no, you also have 9 by now, huh?
9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
Should be 9.
To the website.
Well, I'm looking at a wiki and it says 9.
Episode 9 just premiered this past Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Watch it. I recommend it.
I was gonna say, so I think it is the favorite anime summer 2019 for this group, right?
Yeah. I agree with that.
I'd say so. We'll definitely see what we've got. There's some strong contenders right now, but this one's starting to take the cake.
Definitely.
More.
Go watch it. Science cool.
Hell yeah.
Do it. Do it all.
All right, and that has been our episode, folks. I don't know if there's any closing thoughts, but I think we had a wonderful talk.
Here's a closing thought.
Yeah.
Science is amazing. Dr. Stone's amazing. What are you doing if you're not watching Dr.